profits, and it all has to go back to the IRA. Unless the IRA doesn't own 100% of the beneficial interest. Again, you're recording, so I can't talk about that.
Let's not go there.
All right, so FHA, VA, conventional, they're all putting deed restrictions on properties. I've even heard that they're putting them on normal transactions so that people can't go in, buy property, and then turn around and sell it right away. 203K loans, or 203K or 203B, where the person buys the house and moves into it and fixes it up, and the FHA gives them all the money for it. There's a 1-year deed restriction on there. Well, if they transfer it to a land trust, just saying, all right? And it's good for bird dogs. There's a guy lives in LA, and I'll show him here towards the end. And he came to me and he says, Cliff, he says, I don't have any money to buy anything. And he says, I see these guys buying stuff on TV all the time, and I want to do that. So he took my training. I taught him how to do it. In the first week, he made $1,400. And then by the end of the month, he had made another deal that he lived here. He bought the house in Chicago and wholesaled it to a woman that lived here in Loma Linda. And he got a $10,000 finder's fee.
Good.
So yeah, 12 grand in 30 days. You know. And guess how they bought it? Well, he bought it with a land trust. So he put the contract in with a land trust, and he assigned the beneficial interest to her. So, oh, and the only way that the IRS knows that he's got that money is if she reports it on her tax return.
And how do you avoid that?
Well, you can't. I'm just saying. You always have to pay. Always have to pay your taxes. Oops. I forgot that. You guys knew about that? Wow. Is there like a penalty? Not this time. All right, so easy flipping, assigning the beneficial interest. That's what we're talking about. It's easy. I like that. Isn't that cool? When I looked up that picture online, there was a whole bunch that I couldn't show you that were related to that. There's no deed to transfer when you transfer the beneficial interest. Okay? And Randy's known this for, well, I don't want to say decades, that makes you sound really old. A long time. A really long time. You've been doing land trusts for what, 40 years?
About 37.
37 years. Gosh.
Yeah, really.
That is awesome. And mad condolences. Mad. Just makes me want to cry. Brandon gave you an announcement today. That was a shocker. Anyways, there's no transfer of deeds, so there's no taxes, there's no recording fees. You don't have to go to an attorney's office. You don't have to go down to the government's office. You don't have to ask them permission to do anything. Anybody not like asking government to do things, permission? Any constitutionalists in the room? Any anarchists? Not me, I'm not saying.
No, we all pay our taxes.
Oh, I do too. Eventually. So, so if I was to buy a piece of property and take title, I have to pay a bunch of fees. 1.5% taxes rate, right, in California? 1.5? Is it more here?
1.25.
1.25. It's on my spreadsheet, I don't remember. Right? So that's for the annual taxes though. So I don't have to pay that all up front, but I do have to do some prorated taxes, right?
Well, that's when you buy the property. It's typically 1.25 of the purchase price.
Is that due right away at closing?
No.
No, that's your annual taxes.
Right.
But when you do close, they do want something, don't they?
Sometimes it's
The
prorated.
prorated,
Yeah,
right.
prorated tax.
So like if I close on the 15th, they're going to want 15 days worth of taxes.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to come out of my pocket.
Right.
So if I'm a wholesaler and I'm looking to sell this to somebody else, I got to take that out of my pocket and pay that to close the deal and commit that transaction. And I got to come up with the money to buy it. And I got to come up with any of the closing costs involved, because nobody does anything in real estate for free. Anybody find one yet? No. the one I love is FedEx fees. $50, express fees. I used to own a mortgage company. It's called a junk fee, by the way. And then if I sell it to you, I got to do it all over again because you're going to have to pay it. I bought a house in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was Happy Trail or something like that. And when the house went into foreclosure, there was a HOA fee. It was a very nice house at Jack Nicholson Golf Course. And every time you transferred and bought the property, they gave you a lifetime membership as long as you lived in the house to the golf course. It was $25,000. Okay, one-time fee. Every time it transfers. I was like, man, I need to own an HOA. Oh, it's just $5,000 every time it transfers. So the guy bought the house, 25 grand. He went into foreclosure, the bank took the house, 25 grand. Right? Some guy came along and wholesaled the house, paid 25 grand. And then when I sold it to the guy that was buying it, he had to pay 25 grand. And then when he sold it to the end user, they had to pay 25 grand. $125,000 the HOA made. With the land trust, they would have made, well, how much?
Nothing.
Zip. Right? Okay. No closing cost to transfer the beneficial interest. That's what I'm talking about. Simple, easy to use. I love this. You can do it in your office. There used to be a thing. Anybody ever go to a bank and notice that they all have glass walls?
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
So they
nobody
can see what's
kills
going
them.
on? Yeah, so the mad, crazy guy comes in with a gun, they can all hide behind the glass. Right? No. They did it to keep everything open so that you could see that they weren't stuffing money in their pockets or signing things wrong, right? Heck no. You know what it was for? Because when you take that form that has a signature and you put the other form over top of it, you put it right up there on the glass and you can trace it real easy. I ran a mortgage company. We never did that.
Right.
But I joke because, there's so much that goes on in your office that you don't want anybody to know about, right? Even us honest people, we do things in our office that we don't want anybody to know about. Real estate transactions, Bitcoins, whatever, right? So if it's in your office, does that mean it's private? Who I sell the beneficial interest to, it's my business and the IRS. That's the only two people that are involved, right? So the post and pre-closing transfer, we talked about that earlier. I kind of went ahead of myself, so I'm just reiterating what we said earlier. There's no actual deed transfer. So the property, as far as the world knows, never transfers ownership. It never does. Because the land trust always owns the property. It's the beneficial interest that changes. Okay? Am I putting you guys to sleep? You guys are like really intent and you're like really listening. That's good. I'm not used to that. So, again, you avoid the fees. Anytime a deed or a property transfer, there's tons of thousands of dollars, right? Okay? In Detroit, Michigan, it's hundreds of dollars, maybe pocket change. But in Santa Barbara, it could be $5,000, $10,000. Right? You got title insurance. How many people buy a house as an investment property, pay your title policy, right? You get a brand new title policy, and then 30, 60, 90 days down the road, sell the house and buy another title policy. Okay? I'm going to save you thousands and thousands. Anybody here work for a title company? Okay, I'm going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. You guys work for a title company?
No.
No? No? Okay. Ask them if they will reinstate the existing title policy. And you will save, you know what? 75%. So if your title policy is $2,000, knock 75% off of that if you just bought one, because it's only been in effect for 30, 60, 90 days. What do they have to do? They have to do a title search. Oh, you might have to pay $200, $300, $400 for the title search, but do a reissue on the policy.
You buy a binder, $75.
What's that?
It's binder.
No, I'm saying the actual title policy when you buy the actual insurance, when you close on a property. Could be $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, depending on the